Amid shock and grief just 2 days after the assassination of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Japan is holding an election today for the upper house of its parliament, the House of Councillors. It's widely believed that sympathy over Shinzo Abe's death will win more seats for the ruling Liberal Democratic Party. Meanwhile, people are going to the site where Abe was killed on Friday to pay their respects. Rae-hyun has more.
With heavy hearts, Japanese voters started heading to the polls Sunday morning to elect representatives for about half of the seats in the Diet's upper house, the House of Councillors. This comes 2 days after Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot dead in the street while giving a speech in support of a ruling party candidate. Polls suggest a strong showing in the election for the ruling Liberal Democratic Party led by Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, for whom Abe was a close confidant. In his election, there are 125 seats being contested out of 248 in the parliament's less powerful upper chamber. Analysts say the LDP is on course for a win, and a wave of sympathy could boost its margin. Campaigning paused after Abe's assassination on Friday, but resumed on Saturday. The election is closely watched in South Korea too, because it could affect the relations between Seoul and Tokyo. Polls close at 8 p.m. Japan time. Meanwhile, the funeral for Japan's longest-serving modern leader has been reportedly scheduled for July 12th. Japan's public broadcaster NHK reports that the funeral will be hosted by his widow at a temple in Tokyo, and attendance will be limited to family members and people who were close to Abe. The late former leader's body was taken to his home in Tokyo on Saturday after an autopsy at a hospital in Nara Prefecture where he was killed. Mourners are visiting the scene of his assassination, placing flowers there and paying their respects.
I think this kind of violence against someone speaking in an election campaign is really not forgivable.
Police arrested the suspect Tetsuya Yamagami at the scene. Citing police sources, Japanese media report that the 41-year-old believed Abe was linked to a religious group he blamed for ruining his mother financially and breaking up his family. Rae-hyun, Arirang News.